Are you working with someone you can't stand? We've all been there. Working with people I want to punch in the throat has been called relatable and laugh out loud hilarious. Read the stories about all the crazy people Jen Mann has worked with over the years. Find out who she wants to punch in the throat. Working with people I want to punch in the throat is now available everywhere books are sold.
Hi, I'm Denise Grover-Swank.
And I'm Jen Mann.
And we are two Midlife Mommas.
Welcome to our podcast.
And I did not look at the whiteboard.
Good for you. Denise has had a hard time remembering the name of our podcast.
It's not, but it's so weird. I don't have a hard time remembering it, but it's just like habit. Like you're supposed to look up there.
I'm just glad now that Facebook finally recognizes what I'm trying to do when I'm writing it, because I used to not even be able to tag it.
Oh.
Like when I was trying to, I'd be like, listen to our podcast at Two Midlife Mommas, and it wouldn't tag. So I'm just excited it tags it now.
Well, there you go. I think that means that we made it.
Probably. Yeah. We're legit now.
We're totally legit.
We just need that little check mark, and then we'll really be ready.
This is episode 13.
Lucky 13.
I know, right? Yeah, I think we have a fun topic.
Yeah. Well, when don't we?
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Just bursting with confidence. So today we're talking about doing stuff solo.
Yes, yeah.
So this one is another one. You guys know, if you've been listening for all 13 episodes, then you know that a lot of our topics come out of the Facebook group for Midlife Bites.
Yeah.
That group is so much fun. They're really crazy, and if you're a lady of a certain age, you should totally think about joining us. But be warned, we talk about everything in there, from frozen dildos to...
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, to car tweezers to 14 inches.
14 inches?
To what's for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
To menopause and hot flashes. So, no topic is off limits. Yeah. And usually a lot of times we go through there and we kind of look for topics of what to talk about on the podcast. And... this is one I haven't seen come up a lot, but I thought it was an interesting one.
Yeah.
A woman in there had posted that she had one day to herself to go to a Disney park. And she said, I'm going to be all alone. Which park should I go to? And what should I do there and why? And then today she posted her update with photos of all the things that she'd done.
That's
and it looked
awesome.
Yeah, it looked really fun. And at the time when it came through, I kind of thought, gosh, I don't know. As an adult woman, I'm not sure Disney is a place I'd want to go by myself without my kids. I've never been there without my kids.
I've never been there, period. And then if I went without my kids, because we all know now that I'm ruled by guilt, I would feel so guilty going without them.
Okay, and I am not ruled by guilt, but I'd still feel guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, the Hubs and I find ourselves doing that. If ever we go somewhere fun, we're like, oh, our kids would really like this. We should probably bring them back someday.
Yeah.
But Disney is not my thing, but yet looking at her photos, she made it look fabulous. Maybe it's just not my thing with kids. Maybe I would like it as a solo trip.
Like whiny kid.
Yeah, she was drinking her drink, and she was going to whatever she wanted to go to, and she didn't have to listen to anybody else tell her what to do. Right. And I just thought, that does sound kind of fabulous. We get to travel a lot for work by ourselves, which is wonderful, but it's still work. Yeah. And so what I wanted to talk about, though, is, do you ever get to travel alone, for fun?
No, usually I take my kids. So if I'm going somewhere alone, it's for work. And occasionally I'll bring my kids to those things. But I have taken one big trip alone to Paris.
Oh.
And so, that was actually kind of scary.
Yeah.
After our last episode saying yes.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna write a book set in Paris. So a YA romance. And so I had actually, emailed Julia's French teacher and said, hi, I'm Julia's mom. I want to write a book set in Paris. And I know you have a lot of, wisdom and knowledge about teens dating, because Julia had told me a lot of stuff she'd heard from Dawn. And I said, would you be willing to meet me for coffee at Starbucks after school or whenever it fits into your schedule? And thankfully she said yeah. So we met at Starbucks and we talked for an hour and a half before she had to go pick up her daughter from school. And first of all, we like totally hit it off. We're like really great friends now. So, but she told me about all of, these things instead, things about teens dating and just dating in France, and it's so different than how we do it. And then she talked about, I said, well, I want to go back. And I said, when do you think's a really great time to go? What's not, because I'd been there in the summer with it. And she goes, January. She goes, I was there in January. She goes, there's no crowds at all. The weather's not that bad. And, you can get in to see a lot of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? So I literally went home, was cooking dinner, had my laptop, was looking at flights in January. So I went home, I was cooking dinner, I was looking at flights, and it was only like, it wasn't that expensive. It was like, because it was in January. She told me everything's cheaper in January. So I think it was only like $1,100 round trip. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? Like, I'd already picked the dates, and I was like, I think it was when my kids were out of school, so it wasn't going to be so hard for Ross because he was going to watch them. And for half an hour, like, I have the American Airlines flight up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I do this? Like, literally the same day, like, totally impulsive. And I was like holding my finger over the thing. I was like, oh, and so Ross came over, and he, like, pushed my hand. He goes, you're going.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
As if we needed another reason to love
I
us.
know, right? And he, like, totally watched the kids. I think Trace helped, too. And I was gone for 5 days. And it was the best vacation I've ever had in my entire life. And I was a little scared. And like, everybody's like, oh my God, you're going to Europe by yourself? Like, I'd only been to Europe once before. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, why can't I?
Yeah.
I'm a grown woman. I can do this. And, it was a little intimidating, getting to taxi to where I needed to go and get to my hotel and everything. But oh my God, it was the best trip because I could go wherever I wanted to go. I walked and walked and walked and walked, and nobody was whining that they were tired. I took all kinds of pictures, and it was like, it's literally my favorite vacation ever. And
so why haven't you gone on another solo trip?
The whole guilt thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because my children gave me so much grief that I went to Paris without them. Like,
yeah.
We can't believe you're doing that. I'm like, well, I didn't go to Paris till I was in my 40s. So, yeah.
Get a job, loser.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I should do that. I should take another trip. I almost went to Greece last year, but it was for work. It was like a writer's retreat kind of thing. So.
Even those, though, they feel pretty good if you just do like a writer's retreat or something where you're not, like, if I'm not teaching and I could maybe skip a class and go do something fun, I might do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to.
So have you ever taken a trip by yourself?
Well, I traveled a lot when I was younger. Like, I didn't get married till I was 30. So I traveled a lot, like, in my 20s, like, as a single person, as a single woman then. And I went to Europe by myself. But the difference is in my 20s, though, I was actually kind of lonely.
Oh, yeah.
In my 20s, I was so used to coming out of college where I'd been so surrounded. But in those days, I liked having all those people around me. I wasn't craving alone time yet.
Right.
And so I was a little lonely. And my brother met me over there for a time, and he hung out with me. And then when he left, I remember when he left, I was, like, really sad. And
Aww.
And I had like a whole nother week to myself, and I thought, what am I going to do?
Right.
But I, like you said, though, I got to go do the things I wanted to do. Yeah. I remember, like, traveling with my family was always very, like, my dad always had an agenda. If it's 9 a.m., we have to be at this spot, and 10:30 we got to be here. And,
oh my gosh.
And so it was, And so it was really nice to just sort of like be on my own schedule and just sort of wander and, like you say, wander around and walk around and see whatever you wanted to see and not have to worry.
I just walked miles because, like, I could see more if I wasn't taking the subway. And, like, I take subways when I'm in a city that has public transportation, I am taking it. Yeah. Buses less so, but definitely subways. Because you just get the app and you can easily get to where
and again, a lot of times you have someplace you have to be. Like, you have an agenda. Like, I have to be, we have this time when we went to New York, it's like we had tickets to the Statue of Liberty. And I'm like, we have to be downtown by 11 a.m. So like, we don't have time to lazy doodle it. We have to go, like, let's go. And, but when it's just me by myself and I don't have an agenda or I don't have tickets to someplace, I can just wander. But now it's like, to me, that's like my dream is to like take a trip somewhere. My husband and I have very different ideas of what travel is like. He's very like, he wants to see things and do things and go places.
Right.
And I just want to sit and read and like, if I can sit outside and read, but I need to be in the shade because I'm very pale and like, you know, like I have like all these things that, you know, I need drinks and I need.
You need to go to Paris and sit it outside because they have all their cafes have outdoor seating and people just sit there.
Yes.
And drink a cup of coffee and read the newspaper and read
that
the book.
sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
Whereas he would just be chomping at the bit and he would be like, the Louvre is right there. Let's go, you know, and I would be like, the Louvre will still be there tomorrow. Like I will still be in town tomorrow. And perhaps I'll stop by then.
Yeah, well, my children are sick to death of hearing how when I was in Paris by myself, how I had quiche and like I just went to this street vendor and bought a slice of quiche and sat on the steps of Sacré-Cœur and looked out on Paris while I ate my quiche. And like, oh my god, do we have to hear that story?
Well, but I think that's the other thing too is that okay, so it doesn't always have to be Paris or you know or a beach or something like that. Like you know, as a mom, you know, we both came out of mom blogging, and there's a lot of memes and tropes out there about just wanting to go down the aisles of Target by yourself.
Yeah, no, totally.
And so, but I think that as moms, we really don't do, like, have you ever gone to the movies by yourself? Have you ever gone to dinner?
A few times.
And is it by your choice, or is it because, like, that's just circumstances?
It's usually because I didn't have anybody else to go. Yeah.
But see, now we've established, though, I can always be your movie buddy.
That's true.
So if you need a movie buddy. But if you want to go alone, I understand. I respect that.
We totally need to. No, but it was like, the first time is so stupid, because, like, the first time I went alone, I was like, well, do I just look like a total loser because I'm here by myself? And I was like, I don't care.
Well, and I don't think anyone notices. It's not like I've ever looked around a theater and been like, oh, look at that poor woman by herself. She must suck.
I know, it's weird. There was some movie that came out on 4th of July, Valentine's Day, and it wasn't 50 Shades. I don't remember what it was, but I went and saw it when it came out by myself. And I felt a little weird then, because there were all these couples there. That might be my one day I don't go out to eat by myself. But I went late, because it was like a weeknight, and so that's back when I could, like, I wasn't sleepy at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. And then I waited till my little kids went to bed, and then Ross was around, and so he was there if anybody needed anything. And and I went, So I would do that sometimes. I would go late at night. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I'll go out to eat by myself. Like, my husband travels quite a bit, and so, like, if the kids are busy, now the kids have their own social life, and I have found that there's places that I like to eat that nobody, it's kind of like, you know, the Disney park or walking around. There's places I like to eat that nobody else likes to eat. So I'm like, you know what, tonight I'm going there. See, I don't usually do that. I don't usually go out to eat by myself. I'll get it to go. Oh, see, I don't like it to go. Yeah. I like to be at the restaurant. I take a book. Well, there you go. I read my book. Yeah. Well, I used to be super intimidated by that when I traveled alone. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to, I thought, oh, I look totally weird sitting here eating by myself. So I would take a book. But, like, when I went to Paris, that cured me of it. Because I ate in all these great restaurants by myself. And so, after that, I was, like, less intimidated. And see, when I'm at work, I do like to take it to go back to my hotel room, because I don't usually get a hotel room to myself. Yeah. So that's part of, like, the luxury of it too. Yeah. And my friend, it was funny because this last time when I went to New York, I had 2 beds because my family had been with us originally, so we'd had 2 beds. And normally I would just get 1 bed for myself. And it was funny because a friend of mine had told me a long time ago that she always gets 2 beds when she travels by herself. And she's like, one is to eat in and get all my crumbs in. And she's like, and one is to sleep in. And so the first night when I came back to my hotel with my pizza, then I got out and got, I was like, ooh, I'm going to eat in my eat-in bed. There's the eat-in bed. And, and then I'll sleep in my sleep-in bed. That's so brilliant. And so now I think I will always do that, because it was pretty amazing to sit there in my eat-in bed and do that. Well, one thing I love to do by myself is shop. Like, clothes shop, because if I go with my girls, oh my God, they, like, are the slowest people, like, in the changing room. I'm like, I can go through 3 outfits before you come out in your first. I mean, why does it take so long? But I think part of it is, like, I'm used to, like, I got used to having to do everything very quickly. Like, I can pee in nothing flat, right? Yeah. I can say I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then I'm back already, and then it's like, wait, I thought you were going to the bathroom. Right. And I, like, learned to, like, do everything really fast, especially when Ryan and Emma were little, because they were only 15 months apart, and it was just me. So, anyway, shopping, I'm usually, like, I know what I want. I go in, I get it. I try it on, I get it, I'm out, and nothing flat. Yeah. But if I have to take the entourage, I'm like, oh my God. And I hate shopping. Like, I like shopping, and I shop a lot with my mom or my daughter or all 3 of us. And I like to shop with them.
they're the only people I really like to shop with because we all shop the same. Like we're kind of the same. We're all kind of, we like to look, but we only have a few things we like to look at. Like we're pretty easy. Like my mom jokes that like she can look at a rack of clothes and just be like, I can see 4 things from here that I, like the rest of it can go to hell. Like, and for me, like all I wear is black and gray. So that makes it very easy. I'm like a Garanimal shopper. I just, get all that pink out of there. But like my husband, like I hate shopping with him because again, the agenda. Yeah. It's like I'm a very leisurely shopper. Like we like to kind of just take our time and he's just sort of like, we have to go. And I'm like, where are we going? Is there a fire? Like, do we have reservations somewhere? Like, where are we going? Like, we're shopping. This is what we're doing today. We're shopping. Right. But I like to grocery shop by myself because that is not where I want to loiter. Yeah. And my kids will loiter. And my husband loiters at the grocery store too. I'm like, that's when I have the agenda. Yeah. That's when I'm like, we are like half the time I'm like, just drop me at the door. Like you guys can all wait in the car. I'm going to run in.
We all want everything. Yes. Oh, can we have this bag of chips? Can we have this box? And it's all junk food and And
nobody's going to eat it. And then everyone I get yelled at about it. You know, like yesterday my husband's cleaning out the pantry and he's found soup that was 2 years old and and he's like, why did you buy this? I'm like, I don't remember anymore.
Ross found that the syrup we've been using that we got from Costco like expired last spring. Yeah. He's like, you've been eating. I'm like, dude, it's just all fake sugar. It's
not gonna die.
They just put some arbitrary expiration date on there. We're fine.
It's like Twinkies can last 100 years or so it'll be fine. I know that's our problem with Costco. Like when they were little, they ate everything. Like they were like a pack of locusts, but now it's like. Yeah, you buy I bought 5 pounds of saltine crackers the other day. Like they're stale. Like they used to be able to eat all that stuff, but now nobody wants it.
So Costco is a place I cannot go alone because not because I don't want to, but because my family pitches a fit. They like to go, and in fact, Trace often will come. So I'll call him and say, I have to make a Costco run sometime within the next 3 days. And we will meet at Costco and we will all shop together.
Yeah, that's my mother too. My mother won't get a Costco membership because she likes to go with me.
Oh, he has his own membership. He just likes to meet us and shop with him.
Oh, that's sweet. No, and then the other place I like to go by myself is the bookstore. Yes. I'm always like, again, I just want to take my time and sort of wander around. And I like to look around. Yes. Do you ever? I'm trying to think what other people do by themselves. Like, I don't know that I'd ever go to a theme park because I feel like it's a lot of money. I don't know quite what her circumstances were, why she had a pass, But if someone offered me a free pass,
maybe her family didn't enjoy it. Yeah, she just wanted to go, and she did. I know, because I know a lot of adults who just as adults, couples. Go to Disney, love it. So
honeymoon. I've got a friend who goes every few months. Yeah. Well, when we were on our honeymoon. My husband got food poisoning and he wanted me to go out and go sightseeing without him. Oh. And I was like, oh, I feel bad. But then I was like, but.
Where were you?
Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden.
Oh my gosh.
And so, but I was like, but then again, I've never been to Sweden. So bye. Bye. But that was the only time I kind of felt guilty because I left him sick in a hotel room. But the rest of the time, but I'm kind of a lone person. I crave alone time.
Yeah, me too.
I need a lot of alone time, and so for me, those are like the perfect time. Yeah. And there's times like I don't even like to go get like my daughter always wants to go with me to get pedicures. Oh. And I'm always just like, no, I'm good. Yeah. Like I just want to go. So I'll go when she's at school, and then she gets so mad when she comes home from school.
Yeah, my daughter gets mad.
And she's like, you got a new pedicure, and I was like, I did. Shh. Don't talking. She just she'll talk the whole time, and that's my quiet time. Yeah, and so that's why. That's why I like my alone time. Yeah. I have friends who check into hotel rooms in their own towns even to get away.
I've done that. Have you finish a book? I've done that twice now. Yeah.
I've never done that. I've thought about it, but I've never done it.
No, I have actually, and I took a trip. So last year I started homeschooling Emma. And it was not going well. I was majorly stressed out. I had some deadline and I wasn't doing well on my book. And so I was like, I've got to go away. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, well, where am I going? I could check into a hotel room here in Kansas City. And I looked into it and I'm like, no, I need to totally decompress. So I love the ocean. So I booked, it was February, and I booked a condo at Gulf Shores, and I flew to Gulf Shores for 5 days.
Wow.
And God bless Ross.
I need a Ross in my life. Where do we get these? Where do we get these Rosses?
He lives with me, and people will be like, "Oh, your son still lives with you," but he lives in the basement, and that boy's indispensable to me, right?
I have a basement too, Ross. You can come live in my basement.
So I went to Gulf Shores, and I got like the penthouse condo right on the beach, and it was like so like, and I flew, rented a car, and drove, and walked on the beach, and went and ate dinner by myself at a restaurant, and like one place I went to, I just sat at the bar, and the bartender, and like because I hadn't talked to anybody for days, so, the bartender was really chatty, so we just like chatted, and I'm always like, writers, we're always wanting to know things, right. Like, so how busy, do people like work here and then go away during the, I'm asking all kinds of questions because you never know, you're going to put things like that little tidbit in a book. So that's
funny because the other night we were waiting in line to get into a restaurant, and Comic-Con was happening in New York City.
Oh yeah.
And this guy got in line behind us, and he was by himself, and he just started talking to me. He just started chatting with me, and he told me he was there for Comic-Con, and he'd come to Comic-Con all by himself. Oh. And then like Comic-Con is huge.
Yeah, that's pretty intimidating.
And this was his first con, he told me, and I was like, that's really brave of you to like come by yourself. And but he was like, but I knew what I wanted to do, and he's like, and I didn't want it. He's like, you're right, it's expensive, and there's a lot to choose from, and he's like, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and not worry about anybody else's feelings or whatever. Right. And so I felt, but I was like, we talked, for 20 minutes while we waited online, and then they called our name to go to our table, and I thought to myself, like, should I invite him to join us? Like, I was like, I'm enjoying talking to him and hearing all about his con and what's going on, and I'm like, and he's by himself, but then in the back of my head I was like, no, he wants, like, you should leave him alone. Yeah. Let him enjoy his time.
He's like really like living it up. Yeah, his alone time.
Yeah, he was like, lady, I've gotten my fill. Thank you. I'm good now. I'll sit at the bar and people watch. Because that's my other favorite thing. I think as writers, like I could people watch for days.
Make up stories about what in the world's going on and what are they doing. Yeah. Which is probably why I would make a terrible private detective. As I learn more about what they do. Yeah, you're supposed to like observe and make no judgments and no conclusions, and I'd be like, I'd always like be going, you're up to no good, you're doing something shady. I would.
No, I can't.
Or I'd come up with some ridiculous story to explain what they were doing. Like I just can't help it.
Yeah. No, the next thing I want to do though is I want to drive cross country by myself.
Oh, wow. Well, I kind of
did
that when I drove from North Carolina here. And like, so I do a lot of solo research trips. Yeah. Where I'm not writing and I'm just like taking in the location. And I've taken my children on those, but it does not go well. They're impatient. Yeah. And so I find that it's just much better if I do it myself. And I usually very much enjoy those trips. Yes. Because I'm often driving a lot and driving around and seeing things that my kids would never want to stop at, and I just hear all kinds of griping, and I mean, I spent 2 days in Abbeville, Alabama, and there's nothing there.
Sorry, Abbeville.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing town, but it's very small, and there's like I just literally was just driving around because that's where I set my darling investigations. I changed the name of the town, and I changed a few things, but it's pretty much Abbeville, Alabama. Yeah, I stopped in the Chamber of Commerce and talked to the lady there and asked all kinds of things about the town and the area and people growing cotton and just things that you learn that to put in books. But my kids would never stand. I mean, if I had my kids with me, no. They would hate every minute
there's
of it.
Potty breaks and food breaks, and I would think it would be fun to just do it by myself and see what I'm going to see. And again, stop where you want to stop. Yeah, and then do what you want to do. Yeah, there's something like I enjoy traveling as groups, but I think there's just something really cool about going solo.
I like both. I decided I like both now. Yeah. Sometimes I really want to do it alone. Like someone will somebody will offer to come with me. One of my kids, I'm like, that's okay. That's all right.
I would hate to inconvenience you. You should stay home.
Flying alone doesn't bother me. No. Running cars doesn't bother me.
No. Yeah. Me neither.
I can do any of that stuff. It's so funny because long time ago when the very first Twilight movie came out, I wanted to go see it at midnight. And so I told my oldest son, he's like, well, you can't go see that movie by yourself at midnight. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Mom, you can't be walking across a parking lot by yourself. So he insisted on going to see Twilight with me. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
I think he doth protest too much. Like, I think you have a secret Twilight fan.
Oh no, he was making fun of it. Like Stephanie Meyer made a cameo in it. He's like, nobody's even figured. Like I told him, like, that's Stephanie Meyer, that's the author. He's like, nobody's figured it out.
Which one was she? I never saw her.
She was in the diner. A piece of pie or something in the very first movie. Yeah.
Now I gotta go home and watch it tonight. Yeah. That's so funny.
But yeah,
Mom, you can't do that.
I'm like, yes, I can. I'm a grown, independent woman. I can.
No, I like, there's because I think that's the thing. I think it's like there's things, especially here in Kansas City. There's always stuff going on, and I'm always looking at the calendar. And it's great if someone can join me, but I'm not gonna not go to something. Like I go hear authors speak a lot. Like I'll put it on my Facebook a lot of times and say, hey, my favorite, Jen Lancaster's in town. Who wants to come with me? And
nobody,
crickets. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go by myself then. And I see groups of women there all hanging out or whatever. But I'm very fine being by myself.
Right.
And it's like I wouldn't want to miss it.
Right.
That's right. Like sometimes I want to be alone, and then other times I do stuff alone because I don't want to miss it.
Right. And it's weird. Like sometimes it's just a mood. Like sometimes I just want to be alone, and sometimes like, oh, I want to hang out with someone and have a good time. Yeah. And you just never know what that's gonna be.
You never know what mood you're gonna catch us in.
Uh-oh. Yeah, sometimes I'm just in a mood and I just want to do things by myself. Like I just want to be alone. I think it's after like all my kids. I've been around all my kids, and it's like last night we called my daughter about something, and then it turned into a FaceTime call, and then my son called, and then we literally had two phones on speaker, and we're talking, and then they did a group FaceTime thing. Literally, like we're on the phone. Like Julia was on the FaceTime with us while we were eating dinner, while she was eating dinner. And it was like a 2-hour call. Like she was like hanging out with us. So like we'd never done that before. But like by the end of it all, like it was all just kind of got wild and chaotic. I was like, I need just a little bit of time alone right now.
I mean, I love it how much your family wants to hang out together though. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. We're very, very close.
But I can also see where it can be overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes Mama needs some time alone.
But because in another few years, Mama is going to be alone.
I know. Yeah.
Everyone's going to be gone.
I know. I've thought about that too. Like that's going to be so weird. Because I'm used to people being around all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You'll have your dogs though.
Yeah. Oh, they're like kids. I love them, but oh my God.
Well, but maybe the kids will take some of the dogs with them though too.
Yes, that's the plan.
That's the plan. So you won't have so many dogs. I don't know if you guys can imagine, but how many dogs? 6 dogs? 5 dogs? How many are here?
6 right now because Julia's dog is here.
Yeah, there's 6 dogs here today. So we have to keep taking breaks because anybody who comes by, the dogs go crazy.
Yeah, like UPS just dropped off a package, and so they're in the sunroom, which I've made my office, but a couple of them are still loose.
But they're just always watching. You're never alone here. There's always a dog making sure that you're okay.
Yeah, trying to eat my food. Oh,
I'm gonna be that lady with cats. So when I have my empty nest, I'm gonna have a cat. A dog is still too much work. Like a cat will just sit there. So I'm gonna be the crazy cat lady. You can have all the dogs.
I'll take the dogs because I don't really like cats.
I'll be the crazy cat lady because you can go away and leave them for like a week.
I know. My son has cats, and that's the beauty of his cats. You just have somebody go in every couple days and make sure they have food and water and
that they're not killing each other.
Yeah.
That's
good. Yeah.
I like that. Sounds perfect to me. A pet rock maybe even would be better.
Oh, well, I think we're about out of time.
Well, all right.
Well, it's been another podcast.
It has. I'm just ready to be alone now. There's our timer telling us our time is up.
Oh man, this episode's full of all kinds of the dogs have barked and so
got a lot going on. But I'm ready to go and spend some time alone now and
we've talked a lot.
Find something else. Yeah, because this is the end of our long day together.
Yeah, we've just done 4 podcasts, so
And I hope you like them all and you tell 18 friends. You have to tell 18 friends each.
There you go.
Everyone who's listening to this has to tell 18 friends about 2 Midlife Mommas.
And if they don't understand how podcasts work, explain it to them.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing a lot of that lately.
I feel like we need to do an episode on how to listen to a podcast. But then that would defeat the purpose because we're preaching to the choir.
I need to do a live. We need to do live
Facebook
videos.
Live. Yeah. We need to hold up our phones. The other night I had like a meetup and I was like showing people on their phones. They were because I was like, well, you get it where you get podcasts. They're like, yeah, that doesn't help me.
Yeah. Well, the next time we're together, we can do one together.
All right, we'll do that. Yeah. We'll do that.
We can do some separately, but
No, it's more
people
fun.
Miss them,
it's more fun together.
That's right. In this instance, we want to do it together.
All right, everybody. So subscribe, tell 18 friends, and tell us what you like to do when you're alone.
Yeah. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Denise here. I know you're sad because the podcast episode is over and now you have to wait an entire week to hear us again. But guess what? You don't have to wait. You can listen to one of our audiobooks. Like to listen to true crime podcasts? I've got several mystery series to choose from. Or maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts about The Bachelor. Check out one of my rom-com series. You can find these audiobooks and many more at Audible, Apple Audiobooks, or check out my website, DeniseGroverspank.com, and click on audiobooks in the menu at the top. Happy listening!